blush. Ah, what a color. It's an incredible color.
My mother used to watch me draw and she'd just shake her head and walk away.
You know, basically, after my accident in 1976, I still blew glass for a while, but I could never really blow glass as well. And it was always complicated because there were people around me. I couldn't see my left side very well. I didn't have any depth perception. So it made it difficult for me, not so much for me, but it made it difficult for the people around me because they were always worried that I might not see them. Anyway, it was around that time that I started making drawings because I really basically quit blowing glass and had Billy Morris, "Hey, can you keep it quiet?"
I first started making drawings probably about the time that Billy started becoming the gaffer for my team. That would have been in the late 70s.
You know, the more I drew, the more I liked it. Sometimes the drawings would be about the glass, sometimes they'd just be drawings, a way to release the energy or a way for my mind and body to be creative while the glass blowing was going on.
So I don't know how I started with the idea of the pencils. I'm sure that it started with that, I was making a drawing and there was a dozen pencils laying there and I wanted to, fill in some part of the drawing, and instead of using one pencil, I just didn't take long to figure out that if you grabbed a dozen, that you could do it faster. Or if you grab 50, I think I used to be able to hold about 50 pencils in one hand. I did mostly pencils or colored pencils, and who knows what other, I never did them with a handful of charcoal for some reason. I started off with the graphite pencils for the C-form drawings and the Persians, and I switched to charcoal for the Venetians, and then I began to add some color, probably watercolors initially, and then liquid acrylics, and then I got into these golden acrylics about 10 years ago when I discovered that they made these liquid acrylics. They were the first ones to do that, I believe. And then I started painting with the container itself, just squirting the paint out. But I would always have sponges and brushes and mops and brooms around if I wanted to use other implements to draw with. The black.
Beautiful green, gorgeous blue. Never met a color I didn't like. I'll often take the drawings and I might put 20 or 50 drawings together. And so I'm not limited to the size of the paper and how the work is seen.
I had done drawings before because I have a degree in interior design and architecture, so we used to, back in those days, designers actually made renderings. They probably use computers now. So I always drew, but it wasn't until the late 70s that I started drawing making working drawings for the glass. And from the very beginning, I would say that the working drawings were only superficially working drawings. I mean, they were always a way for me to use my energy. You know, people respond to my drawings sometimes because it's my own energy directly. And with the glass, it's a team of people, anywhere from 5 to 18 people on one team. And usually I don't touch the glass. Well, actually nobody touches the glass because it's too hot. But usually I don't touch any of the tools. If you look at the history of my drawings, you'll see that they started off in the late 70s with working with graphite, charcoal, simple things, showing the glassblowers how to work. And then they got more complicated. And then the Venetians were actually I made drawings that really looked like the Venetians.
Whatever you did on that coil, do it one more time.
I mean, all I have to do is make a drawing, put it up on the wall up next to the furnace, and Lino interprets it. And he always interprets it in his own way. So there's a lot of creativity from Lino and the other people on the team.
Take the big coil and you just go like this over the cylinder. Let it hang off a little bit.
It's doing like this, and then go back, then do another time. One time is possible.
Yeah, one time, just to get one loop out there. Yeah. Cut.
One coil's better.
All right. One coil. Wow!
It gives me an opportunity while they're working to do drawings. And the drawings might be of what they're making out there, or it might be what I'm thinking about making tomorrow or next week. Or I might not even be very conscious of what I'm drawing. Sometimes I just draw and it's color ideas, it's form ideas. I try to keep in a state of mind that's most creative for me. So sometimes I'm specifically making something that I want them to make next, or sometimes I'm thinking about something very far off. They're out there blowing glass, I'm working with them, but I have more time than that. You know, I have the ability to work on several things I don't work on several things at one time, but I can switch from one thing to another quickly. So I can draw for 5 minutes and then go blow glass for 5 minutes and then go on the telephone for 5 minutes and then start another project for 5 minutes. I tell you, I don't really like sun all that much. I mean, I'm a Seattleite, and I like rain. So I go over to Jerusalem in this burning, blazing desert sun. I'm telling you, it was rough. I mean, it was hot. To do my drawings, I had to get up early, which I like to do anyway, but I had to find a corner, in the citadel where the sun didn't come up. So I could only work until about 8 in the morning or something. Then I had to stop drawing because you don't get any, relief until 6 o'clock at night or something. I mean, it doesn't make any difference what country I'm in. I mean, I'm just a fax away, a voicemail away, a FedEx away from anything. I average, several thousand faxes a year, and I do several thousand paintings a year. I do a lot of everything, I guess. Whatever I do a lot of, and I do it fast. It's just my nature. That's the way I am. And I need all of those tools. I need to make a lot of phone calls, thousands of phone calls. I need to make thousands of faxes to sort of distribute my ideas. Because as you write a letter, of course, you're thinking. It's simply a way to make your mind work. Nothing works better than writing a letter. I mean, what I'm always stunned is that it's not the method most people use. For some reason, they make a few notes about an idea, but they don't write the letter. It's the letter, the writing of the letter, that formulates the idea. And it's also putting, the drawing or the painting down on paper that helps you sort of figure out what's in your mind. And it's the blowing of the glass or the casting or the making of the glass that helps bring the idea to fruition. So for me to be able to have my hands on something is, it's just my creative process. And it's very essential for an artist to be a risk taker. I don't think you become a very good artist if you can't. Most of my work is not based on, a concept of a particular thought or idea. It mostly comes from more my gut. I just sort of build it, and as I build it, it takes shape. I mean, I start with a concept, say maybe of size or form or structure, but it evolves. So I never know what I'm going to do until I start to do it, really. My being an artist has to do with my energy. I was lucky that I found an outlet for this energy in art, as opposed to, some other form that might have been less interesting for me, and maybe for other people as well. I remember once this would probably be in the early 80s, I was in Bruce Heelander's backyard in Palm Springs, and I was drawing at about 6 in the morning, and then all of a sudden I look up and I see a policeman standing there. And first of all, I'm drawing with, 50 pencils in each hand, and I draw over glass or over rice or beans. And the cop said to me, he said, I haven't seen that many pencils since I took my SATs. And he said, oh, by the way, we've got a noise limit in this town, a curfew on noise. He says, you can turn that opera back on at 7 a.m. In the meantime, turn it down. And he walked away. The energy, you can probably sense this energy, directly sense my energy in my drawings than any other way, perhaps. And from the very beginning, the drawings were done, as my glass is done, very quickly, very fast.
I'm going to start different this time, Kent. I'm going to make the leaves first. The hard part's the top, not the bottom. I've never done this before. I'm doing something I've never done before, which I like to do. Now we're working on the real stuff. Yeah. Last round. That's so much better, though, the three on the left. Yeah, maybe it makes the 3 on the right better. Take it away. Oh, it was an interesting series, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Never done that before. And that's probably, you know, people would rather see me draw like this than the way I draw.
Because you got a brush.
No, just they understand this a lot better. Maybe I'm better at this, I don't know. But maybe I should do more of this.
And it really just gets down to an idea. If you give me an hour or 2 a day and I can think, and you know, and I think of an idea, I mean, it only takes that 30-second thought and I can put it in motion. Because if I think of something, I go immediately to voicemail and start getting the materials in, the ideas going, the people working, and then, you know, come by later that afternoon and see what kind of progress we've made. You know, it's one thing to think about something. It's one thing to have an idea. It's another thing to do it. You have to be able to think about it, and you have to be able to do it. You know, and many things require action immediately.
I want it sort of maybe one step removed after nature, like an ikebana. We're going to do bamboo with a couple of pine cones.
So I can go from one thing to another quickly, but I can never do 2 things at once. But I like to draw, so I'm always, you know, squeezing in a drawing here and there, just in order to be creative. Every year I do more drawings. You know, I probably now do, I would imagine I do at least a couple thousand drawings a year. And I really like to work on paper. But I'm sure the drawings are far more important than probably people think they are. They're probably far more important than I think they are. I think they play a really central role in my creativity. If I didn't draw, I don't think the work would have progressed at the rate or in the directions that the work has gone.